Hey folks, just a quick note before the show starts. Today saw the release of Transformers G.I. Joe issue number 7. An amazing issue. It's pretty much a Spotlight Scarlet. That review is now done and will be ready for you this weekend. In addition to the BotCon review that you're about to hear, we've also got another BotCon issue standing by, a return to the Dreamwave reviews with Chris McFeely and Dave Kellogg-Prime, classic reviews for 6 and 7 of the American series, and that's in addition to all the regular stuff, plus a few projects that we're working out with some IDW VODs at the moment. So hang in there whilst we try and find space for all of this stuff. I promise that we'll get it out to you at some point. Speaking of the BotCon comics, in the review you're about to hear, you're going to hear Chris, Matt, and Adam make repeated explicit references to a dreaded previously aired show, reviewing Timeline 7 Invasion. It's what Chris calls one of the worst comics he's ever read, full stop. I've put a link to that show in the notes, so you can either jump to our podcast homepage and download it there, or you can go to our YouTube page and just listen to it via that. I also wanted to put out huge thanks to all the Underbase hosts and guests. Loads of folks put in a tremendous amount of effort into putting these reviews together. I mean, just think of the amount of people that appeared on the show over just the last month alone. And these folks often work hardest when events in the real world seem to just not be going their way. So if you like a show and you like what they're doing, be brave, folks. Be bold. Drop them a message. Let them know that you enjoyed the show, because they deserve it. Finally, I just wanted to say before I hand over to the guys, thanks to everyone who responded to the last podcast, the discussion on gender. If you've not listened to it yet, please give it a go. Lots of support. Yes, we're going to do more of these. Yes, I'm aware that we didn't cover all the elements. We will be revisiting the topic. Yes, the show was definitely worth having. I think we've had 800 cumulative Moonbase and Underbase episodes. I think Skylinks has had more coverage over the years than gender. So absolutely a show is worth doing on it. And to be honest, we need to do more shows. And to those who didn't like it or said they don't like the direction that we were going in that show, if you don't like what we're doing, it's the same as any other part of Transformers. We like what we like and we support it, and if we don't like it, then we just step away. So if you don't like the fact that we were talking about Transformers and gender, step away. The show proved that we had some amazing fans out there, and it was really heartening to see. But we don't want anyone sticking by us if they don't like us doing shows like that, because we will be doing more. So, with that out of the way, I'm now going to hand you over to the rather explicit trio of Matt, Chris, and Gruffy.
As someone put it to me, the mobile phone in your pocket has more computing power than the computer that put man on the moon in 1969.
Mm-hmm.
They put man on the moon, we throw birds at pigs.
Yeah. There is more computing power in one of these phones than is in the computers that they would use now.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the great things about technology that I absolutely adore. NASA hasn't really, NASA doesn't do much nowadays, but over the last since 1990 so, they haven't really upgraded the technology that much. Mostly because it works.
Yeah. If it ain't broke.
The last thing you want to do is get fucking Windows ME or something on a space shuttle. NASA, we have a problem. We were aiming for the moon. We've just found the sea.
Windows 8 constantly popping up with a touch screen. What's going on? I just want my desktop.
For their running ends, they're going to be fucked.
I'm sorry, you cannot use Windows 8. You need to get a license key.
You look like you're trying to get to the moon. Would you like some help?
Would you like to download the Google Apps map?
You search for moon. I will open your photos. No.
We have found 3 million photos of Kim Kardashian.
Oxygen has suffered a critical error. It will now shut down.
Your computer needs to complete an important... Not now!
Put off for 30 minutes. Put off for 30 minutes. Shall we review this comic?
Yeah, let's do that.
Transmission is go. Underbase is live.
Hello and welcome to the Underbase, the very special annual-ish edition of the Underbase, where we look at the BotCon comic from the year. The BotCon team have assembled. We have Grufflock.
Hello, ladies and gentle people.
And we have Chris McFeely.
That you do.
So strap in and prepare to be entertained for the next hour-ish. But we've got a special event this year. We actually managed to get 2 comics out of Fun Pub. I say this year. Both these kind of happened last year.
Yeah, we're substantially late. What are we, like 6 months late with this?
At least. Let's just say BotCon's in under 30 days when we'll have another one.
Yeah.
Because I can't wait for that.
Yay! In 30 days I get to have more McFeely. Yay!
Let's be fair, boys. We won't be reviewing it until Christmas.
I know.
If we're lucky. So we will be looking at Timelines number 9 today. And we'll look at number 10 in our next special, which will go up at some point. We're recording them on the same day, so if by the end of 10 we sound utterly delirious with boredom or have gone and referenced things that we say in this review, then you now know why. It could get very complicated.
We are doing these backwards in a sense.
Are we?
Oh yeah, because number 10 came out first.
Did it?
Yes, it is. Number 10 came out at BotCon in June last year, and it was a couple of months after that number 9 was released, and it was a digital issue.
I thought 9 came out early, but that then does explain why in the stuff in the back of 9 gives away what's going on in the subscription service and stuff this year. Okay, so why not number it 9 and 10 the other way around?
Well, because number 9 does continue directly from our last thrilling episode from 18 months ago. So,
yeah, that was a point I was going to make. So anyway, gentlemen, shall we crack on with Timelines number 9? Yes. We're not going to start off with Sonic the Comic or anything this year.
No.
Yeah, we're gonna crack straight into this. And as McFeely says, this does pick up, well, literally a panel later from Timelines number 8. Continuity in a Fun Pub comic. There's a first.
I mean, at the end of that, our big question was, where does this happen next? Because it was plainly a story that was not finished being told. It wasn't, sometimes BotCon comics end openly, but it didn't end it ended on an actual cliffhanger where the plot hadn't finished yet. And the big question was what happens next? Because then, issue 10 came out and, nothing to do with it. I mean, we never expected it. We never expected the next BotCon comic to have anything to do with it, and it didn't. And I think most people just assumed the fact that the next issue was labeled 10 was, sort of not a goof, because there have been 10 issues of Timelines. It's just there were 2 number 1s.
Numeracy. It's a wonderful skill. I'm glad that we have it.
Literally, we haven't gone above the numbers of fingers and thumbs on somebody's hands, and we've still got it messed up.
Yeah.
Most people's hands.
Well, it wasn't messed up. I mean, it was originally promoted as issue 1, and then the next year was volume 2, issue 1. And obviously the intention was just for each one so that it could be sold as a number 1 in and of itself, but then they knocked that on the head and just started calling each one subsequently number 2, number 3, whatever. Because I mean, it's off-putting to pick up a comic and see number 10 and think, or to pick up number anything and say, when did number thing come out? And it was, a year ago, and you could only get it one weekend in America.
I know, because recently I've been rereading all the Amalgam stuff, and all those were number 1s, and I always think to myself, God damn it. I always wish there was been number 2s.
I thought they were fairly number 2, to be honest.
How dare you, sir.
Oh.
The amalgam age of comics is one of the greatest things to have ever existed. It could have only existed in the mid-90s. Are you telling me that you don't look at Dark Claw and think to yourself, how the hell does he run with that much weight on his head?
So, to catch people up with the story, if you haven't read number 8, Chris.
Right. Following on from the Transformers Collectors Club magazine story of the year before that, which was to say 2004,
12?
13.
13.
13? Yes. 13? Maybe.
2012
I think
would be,
so.
wouldn't it?
No. Wait.
Okay. Numbers!
What?
Numeracy!
Yeah, a numeracy. G-Axis and his army of second-generation clones, consisting of, largely at this point, the Machine Wars versions of the characters, have invaded and laid waste Cybertron. And the Timelines issue number 8 from BotCon 2013, yes, definitely, followed the efforts of Obsidian and Stryker leading a band of rebels to take down the clones, led by Megaplex, who had seized control of the planet. And our big twist ending, which came out of nowhere last time, was the revelation that Sandstorm was in fact Machine Wars Sandstorm. He was one of Jaxxus's clones, hidden amongst the rebels' ranks, and with his reveal and turning on them, they fell, and then Jaxxus and the rest of his armies arrived, and that's where our story begins.
There you go. That saves you going back and listening to a show from 18 months ago.
Or you could just go back and listen to a show from 18 months ago.
Yeah.
And this one's called A Common Foe. Written by Jesse Whittenrich, layouts by David Reynolds, art by Josh Burcham, and let by Jesse Whittenrich. Also, at the back end of this, there is various profiles as well, which was a nice addition. This comic was only available digitally, I believe.
Yes.
On the on the Collectors Club website.
Yes.
For a short period.
I don't know. I think it's still available now.
I couldn't find it earlier, I must admit.
Oh, well, maybe. I'm not sure.
Won't lie, wasn't searching that hard. We'd normally do covers on the Underbase, but there's one cover.
Yeah.
Chris, anything to say about the cover?
Who did the cover? Matt Frank did the cover. We all love Matt Frank here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I like the fact that the cover's got a real... you can feel the sort of Marvel G1 reference coming through, can't you?
Yeah, if only it wasn't bold impact.
Well, yeah. You've got to make these little allowances. It's fun pub.
I mean, the cover features... that's kind of where this comic comes in, is that cause our question was, what does it get attached to? Because logically it would have to be attached to some kind of product, whether it was the BotCon toys or whatever. And it turns out it's this year, this upcoming year now, the third wave of the Collectors Club subscription series. So we've got Serpentor, Croc, and Karzap on the cover here, and they are what this bit of work is tied to merchandise-wise.
Merchandising.
Actually, just got my Karzap this week. Nice.
Oh, good. I do like Old Man Melty Face Galvatron.
That's a little odd.
I kind of like it.
Because you look at...
It's very Marvel UK, but...
Mm-hmm.
Look at the lines under Prime's eyes and...
It's the idea, isn't it, that these two are now incredibly old. They're ancient. So
it's not much older than... This isn't much later than when we last saw them, cosmically speaking. We're still in the 21st century.
Is it? Oh, right. I actually thought this was...
Yeah, I thought this was much
way
later.
after that.
No, this is still set in the 21st century. Following on this is the Wings universe, so this is within the cartoon timeline.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So no, it's not too much later.
Well, that's
exactly when it is, but
that's my argument blown out the water.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. How about I go to Wikipedia and just read your own words back at you again?
Yeah, remember that one?
Memories.
Like that.
I was trying my best not to do that.
I knew if I paused for long enough, one of you would.
Somebody would.
I actually broke out in a sweat, not falling through your loops. I will not jump like a performing monkey.
So we open with Stryker and Obsidian showing some character and some backbone and taking the fight to Jaxxus's troops when everything seems lost. And we remember that Octane, Tool Tanker, as well, is not there for the fighting, really. Is that Acid Storm, or am I
Yeah, I think you can assume it's Acid Storm.
being a general Decepticon? And what we actually find out in this part really is that Obsidian knew that Sandstorm was a clone. He knew in advance. In fact, to the point where he implanted him with a bug, quote unquote, see what I did there, which sends a signal, which taps into his overpowered spark to send a signal to the Autobot City on Earth to send the support teams to take care of Jahaxus and his clone army. Now they're all in one place.
Simple as.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's true, because, I mean, it follows well out of the cliffhanger. I mean, it really did just sort of pop up out of... I mean, like, I think we said it last time, trying to remember back a year and a half here, but it like it was the end of, like, the second act of a 3-act story.
That was one of the major issues that we had with it.
Yeah.
It felt like it ran out of pages, not ran out of story.
Yeah, because the layout started to come apart at the back end of the story as well, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose we don't really know exactly what they were planning, but whether this was planned or not, they did manage to pull it out well, pull it out of out of a bad place quite smoothly.
Oh yeah, the opening for this serves two very, very good purposes. It gets you caught up to where the story is, and then it starts moving the story forward. And it does so very, very cleanly.
Mm-hmm.
More so than I would have ever given a Funbub comic the ability to do. It's actually impressive. It's like somebody who knows how to write a comic wrote it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves there.
Yeah, I'm going to give praise where praise is due.
Yeah, that's the thing. These comics progressively over the years have got better and better, and this one especially is actually fun.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit.
Because
crazy.
there's no big ambition behind this story. That's the thing. This does not have the weight of being what an entire BotCon. I mean, it feels kind of like we're jumping towards the end with a sum up here, but this doesn't have the weight of an entire BotCon behind it. This issue is how long is this? I think it's a normal 20-some page.
Yeah. 32 pages.
Well, it's including the profiles and covers.
Yeah.
So. It is just essentially an extended fight scene with a variety of fun character moments happening in and amongst it.
Mm-hmm.
The assault teams are the toys that you will be buying this year.
Some of them.
Some of them, and some of them you'll have already bought. We've got Rapido in there, we've got Karzat.
Sorry.
Serpentor, Croc, I can never remember his name. Blue guy with the pink splodges.
Yes. He's also there.
Scram, is it?
Yeah, I want to say it's Scram, yes.
Yeah, is it Turbo Fire?
No.
Hang on, I'm going to look it up.
I think it's Scram. I'm pretty sure it's Scram.
No, Scram is blue, isn't he? Blue and orange?
I thought Scram was blue and pink.
Oh, I have no idea.
Jeez.
It is Turbo Fire.
It is Turbo Fire.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Scram is blue and orange with pink details.
Has that dogfight in the background? Nacelle, isn't it? Or however you pronounce it, isn't it?
That's Nacelle, another one of the toys. I mean, there's 4 of the 6 toys here. Nacelle, Karzap, Serpentor, and Croc. The other 2 toys being Tarantulas and Generation 2 Starscream, who they're not in it. So
I totally missed the guy over Turbo Fire's shoulder.
Eco.
Yeah. But I've looked at that panel like 3 times in the last few hours, and every time I've missed him until this point. I was just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's good to see Gatorade getting some panel time. Love Gatorade.
Yeah,
mainly for this comic because he's awesome.
Looking a tiny bit like he might have been drawn somewhere else and pasted in.
Yeah, a little bit. So the team arrive. Eagle Eye gets a bit angry. Croc gets a little bit over enthusiastic. But that gives you an idea of our characters straight off the bat. Everyone gets a line, but they're not all standing around. pretty much it, isn't it? They're not all standing around introducing themselves, but
to be honest, this bit could maybe benefit with a little bit more explanation, because this is like half bots, half cons. And honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know why Nacelle and Croc are here. I know that the deal with Serpentor is that in creating him, a la the actual G.I. Joe Serpentor, he gets a bit of General Hawk scanned into him, the way the original Serpentor got Sergeant Slaughter scanned into him. And it's that sort of innate sense of all American red-blooded justice and freedom that gets into that. He winds up allying himself with the EDC. But I honestly don't know why Croc and Nacelle are here.
I always assumed, and because of what you said earlier on, my assumption has come completely apart, that this is so far in the future that there isn't any real war anymore.
No, this is in 2015.
Yeah, so that's everything. Oh God, see, not only has my theory been blown out the water, you've just taken it out the water and kicked it to death. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. You've just all yelled my theory. Taken my theory round the back of the shed and shot it in the face. Cheers, Chris.
Well, I don't know why they're there, but your theory is dead.
It's dead. You got a necromancer to come and raise the corpse and then shot it again.
I'll just stuff it and prop this story up.
What's this on your wall? Oh, that's just Adam's theory. One of my greatest victories.
It was over so quickly. Didn't even get out the gate.
It was like knife fighting a small, tiny, blind dog.
With 3 legs.
That's awful.
Yeah, how does it hold the knife?
Obviously, in its mouth.
Yeah. That's what gaffer tape's for.
With that.
Gaffer taping knives to a dog. I am Chris McFeely, the Great Hunter.
Let's not give anyone ideas. I'll put it through government. Can't get fox hunting back in. Strap some knives to a dog. They'll put it in.
No, well, they probably need to appeal to young people by introducing a grafting system. So.
By grafting, do you mean hard work, or do you mean like grafting people onto foxes?
Grafting things onto things.
Oh my God, you're the actual dog welder, aren't you?
I don't know what a dog welder is.
From Hitman.
I've never played Hitman.
No, the comic.
Oh, you know what? I've actually never read Innocent Hitman.
Really? Oh man, you should read some Hitman. It's got Dog Welder in it. He goes around welding dogs to criminals. Dog Welder's amazing. Sorry, I'm just remembering lots of things about Dog Welder. I'll stop.
Okay. Yeah.
I got nothing.
So going back to the comic.
Yes. Obviously, this invasion of Allied forces causes Megaplex to have a bit of a meltdown, and he goes all internal, and is faced off with what strikes me us as Megatron's persona within his own body, who is looking to take over.
Well, I mean, he is a clone of Megatron.
Yeah.
You know, so, it's just that he sort of, he has his own, I mean, you know, it's very reminiscent of the Straxus Megatron fight inside the mind from Marvel UK.
Mm.
The idea is that, like, you know, he cloned Megatron, so he wound up with Megatron. And he had to bury him and you know, tamper with his brain and turn him into Megaplex, somebody who would actually serve him.
Megaplex does away with Megatron by the looks of things.
Seems to.
In his head.
Megaplex is a good character too, I have to say. I mean, I think we said it back at the time. I mean, it was a cool hook.
Yeah.
A clone of Mega. I mean, Megaplex had existed as a previous character before, but he was only ever presented as like a duplicate / body double for Megatron, which is an interesting idea in and of itself as well. But the idea of a clone, like haunted by the legacy and identity of the person he's cloned from, it's not a new idea or anything in science fiction. But it worked well here. It added an unexpected amount of depth to a grey Dreadwing repaint.
Yeah. The question is, though, is this a better clone story than Ben Reilly?
Well,
yes.
Or character. Because don't be talking smack about Ben Reilly.
I love me some Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But, when you talk about clones in comics, that's the first place anyone goes to, isn't it? It's the Clone Saga. Which I will still say is nowhere near as bad as everyone keeps talking about.
It is, honestly.
Maximum clonage is terrible.
Maximum clonage is terrible, but I mean, the Clone Saga as a, you can't, the thing about the Clone Saga is you can't just review it based on the straightforward content of the comics. I mean, the way it was produced, the way it kept, I mean, it's easy to look at these things with hindsight and everything, but the way that story unfolded is as much a part of why it was as terrible as it was than anything that was actually in the comics.
I'm actually annoyed that at this point there is no book out there that's just about the Clone Saga.
Yeah, you could write a book on it.
How not to do comics.
Well, how not to run a comics company, I think it was probably how I'd call it.
Yeah.
Or
everybody was doing it at the time. It's not just like a terrible Marvel story. Anyway, getting off the topic here.
Yeah.
That was on purpose.
You can title it, How to Get Bought Out by Disney.
How to Become Filthy Rich in 5 Easy Steps. 1. Fail miserably throughout the 90s.
Throw all your money away and then hope that in 20 years' time.
So we have our upcoming scene, which is promotion of character that you've already spent your money on. Featuring Nacelle, Serpentor and Croc going in through the back way. We have comedy moments. We have Croc being amazing. Sorry, not Croc, Gatorade being amazing.
I know, I do that too.
It's the crocodile.
Crocodile, yeah. There's never been any reason that his name is Croc. I mean, Gator Raider is an amazing name, and it is like
really
top 5 Transformer names of all time, alongside Thinner Twin and who's that other fella with the amazing name that I'm trying to think of? Vertebrake. But
yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know why Croc is called Croc.
I'm always upset that the greatest name Transformers never got some kind of mini-series to themselves. I would love to buy 3 dirty issues of Thrust and the Headmasters.
Terrible person.
Yes, I am.
Guess so.
Thank you.
So you have to be looking to make it dirty when his name's just Thrust,
Yeah.
Vertebrake speaks for itself.
It does. I am annoyed that Vertebrake doesn't speak with a weird Colombian accent, though.
Well, Vertebrake's never spoken, so you never know what he could say if he ever appears in anything.
That's true. I can't help but look at...
for RID.
Oh, yes!
Would you buy a Vertebrake one-shot, Spotlight Vertebrake?
Well, I mean, he was a Predacon clone from Beast Hunters, so it probably wouldn't be about him. So you'd probably need to create a new Vertebrake.
Or, what you do is, you have the main character being somebody else, and it's just Vertebrake hunting him, bringing him down, and then breaking into his cave and snapping his back.
I will break you!
Voiced entirely by the guy that did the Bane voice for the BBC Radio 1 drama.
I raise you up!
I would kill you for anything to silence a grating voice. I love that voice.
I was wondering what would
Bane, yes, that's my name. Say the name, Bane, to guarantee the pain. Coming after you, Bruce Wayne, I'm stronger, smarter, clinically insane.
I don't know. I can't do the Bane voice properly anymore
I
because
can't watch that film now without hearing the Bane voice from the video.
no, well, I mean, that's the great thing about that Bane voice is it's so easily imitatable. But I forget what context our one. Remember Dutch Bane?
Dutch Bane?
Dutch Bane.
Yes, it was one of ours, but I don't remember what the context was.
No.
It was.
It
was
tickles
yourself.
it tickles the brain, but I can't remember.
I don't remember the context in the Schleiterstick. Was just very slightly in Dutch Bane, you know. I don't remember. This is over a year and a half ago. Anyway.
That's less Dutch Bane and more slightly Camp German.
Ja, well, you know, it's...
Leitenfrosenhagen.
Yeah, good.
I've got so much solution glitz for you.
You do not have my permission.
We're in Gotham City and nothing but ashes. We'll have my permission. Goodbye.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my Nathan. I'm out.
Yes, anyway.
Where are we?
You've missed this.
But there was something. It was on one of these shows before. I don't remember what the context was at all.
The Dutch Bane.
Dutch
So
Bane.
it had to be between Dark Knight Rises coming out and...
I would like to say, I think it was the intro to the last one that we did. I'm fairly sure that's where Dutch Bane came from.
Possibly. I remember Greek Stranglehold. They take on a life of their own.
They really do.
I was going to say, wasn't that just the economy back when we recorded the last one? But political joke. Well, fine, I'm just wasted here. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Wrong podcast. So, our team of purchased heroes creep up behind Jahaxus.
No, I mean, there are notes and references in here. I mean, they think they're breaking in through the tunnel that Alita 1 and her female Autobots used to break into Shockwave's Energon supplies back in the search for Alpha Trion. But then when they blow it open, it turns out that it's actually the passage that Carly and Spike used to get away from Shockwave in the desertion of the Dinobots. Little things like that.
Yeah. G1 references, people. G1 references.
I do like the idea that Nacelle actually has all of this stuff in his head. Like, oh yeah, humans used this to escape Shockwave. I know this because I watched the episode.
Yeah, I didn't exist at that point.
Yeah, how do you know?
Well, I think the idea is that he is the very dark blue seeker who appears in the background of the shot with Sunstorm more than meets the eye. So,
wasn't he based on a prototype in a toy catalogue?
He is, yes, but I think the idea is that retroactively, red notwithstanding, he is also supposed to represent the barely noticeable, very dark blue one because they've already named everyone else in that shot, like Sunstorm happened, and then the light blue and purple guys have become Bitstream and Hotlink, and then he's just I think Nacelle is supposed to be the last one in the shot.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So he would know he was there.
You stop just shooting the theories down, Chris.
That's what I'm here for. I don't have anything else going on.
That's at once amusing and quite sad. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I'll be round in 20 minutes. I'll give you a hug.
Yeah.
I will wear my worst underwear.
Oh.
Thundercracker makes an appearance. Old Thundercracker, real Thundercracker, and Dogfight. Not Dogfight.
I think that's Bitstream actually.
Is it?
Yeah, because he's a blue seeker. Because Thundercracker's dead in cartoon continuity.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah.
He's Scourge now. Looking again. Yeah, it's listed here as Bitstream. So yeah.
And they go after Starscream. Or they're going after Starscream, or fighting Starscream. But it's a lot of mini scenes on half pages.
Fight scene things.
Could have done with maybe a little something just to guide us exactly what's going on. No, just a little elsewhere on the field.
Just a collection. Yeah, little little maybe captions. It's like elsewhere again. But they are just a series of short vignettes.
And Electro and Mirage have gone after Skywarp, or clone Skywarp, and Skywarp clones himself.
Well, those are his clones.
Are those clones, or is that him going for...
They're all teleporting in, so.
Ah, right. I actually thought he was, like, multiplying himself.
I thought
Multiple man style. But yeah, that makes more sense.
Ready.
They're warping in, yeah.
I mean, here's the trick, because if you look at the, silhouette, right, you see he's got the big wings on his legs. But then if you look at the actual, I suppose you can't, well, if you look at what's warping in, you can see that their wings are on their backs.
Ah, yes.
Because the generals are their BotCon toys.
Yeah.
The drones are the actual Machine Wars toys.
Yeah.
Oh, good catch there, Chris.
Yeah, well spotted, so. That would have happened if I maybe hadn't read it just like 4 hours ago before doing the review.
You've had 18 months, Matt.
Yeah, but... At the point, it looks like Mirage and Electro are going to finally bite the big one. The B team arrives of Magnificus, Sunstorm, and some dude.
Blue Bacchus.
Cool.
Yeah. But this isn't another team from Earth or anything, I don't think.
That's just others appearing, isn't it?
Other guys, yeah. The way the two teams from Earth work, it's 3 bots, 3 cones. And then that's Serpentor, Nusail, and Croc are the 3 cones.
And Magnificus throws a small armored gorilla in the air, which he then shoots with a laser, and it turns into a giant armored gorilla.
Oil Master.
This is one of those things that is truly devoid of context.
Yeah.
I mean, Oil Master here is going to be one of this year's BotCon toys.
Yes.
And he's based on an unproduced Pretender from back in the day. He and Magnificus were paired up before in a short comic that came with the Generations Magnificus that was exclusive to eHobby and the club. So that's what they're doing here, but it is just, if you don't know that, it's like, why?
It does look like he's got a gun that shoots gorillas at people.
Yeah.
Which makes me, I don't know which I like more, the idea of Oil Master actually being in a comic, or a gun that shoots gorillas at people.
I think I'll take the gorilla gun every day.
Yeah, the Gunrilla. Yeah, man.
But the ability to grow and shrink things is one of Magnificus's powers, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, gorilla gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the little gorilla's actually a toy that he keeps in his chest, because he loves his Gunrilla so much, and then he fires his Gunrilla, and that's why there's a gorilla. I'm going for that idea.
Okay.
You don't know how much I love the idea of a gun that just fires gorillas.
Hey, Prime, I invented a gun that fires
Prime, I fucked up, Prime. It was meant to shoot harmless static, make people go to sleep, and so it shoots primates at people, Prime.
Shoots gorillas. He gets
And Tall Tanker is about to get wiped out as well, until Stryker drops on his assailants. Rather epically, it has to be said.
I still want that toy.
Well, the Stryker one.
Yeah.
Does make the toy cool.
I didn't want anything from Machine Wars sets. I just wanted her and, well, I mean, I didn't want any of the Machine Wars toys, but I wanted her and Obsidian.
One day, Chris.
One day, I'm sure they'll become moderately available.
Yeah. Well, it's the only ones that anybody wanted.
Yes, that's yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody was really screaming for Shattered Glass Galvatron. That's why I was able to get him at a vaguely reasonable price. But yes, those truly were the only 2 anybody wanted from that set.
Yeah. Which makes you wonder why Hasbro's never jumped on that when it actually released them. Maybe not out of these molds, but release
Yeah,
the
well,
characters.
they might do something with the characters.
Yeah, be surprised if they're not introduced at some point to the main line, as it were, because they are the sort of the standouts, aren't they, from that era?
There's lots of things in these machines.
There is a lot, but they're the ones that they're the ones with the history that never got explored.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. There's more story. That's what this is really. That's what the role in this story is about. Is they are pretty much the only new characters from Beast Machines where you have room to tell a different story with them. Everyone else in Beast Machines is either a pre-existing Beast Wars character or, a Viacon general who's like newly created for the stories. Unless you want to follow Botanica's adventures in plants in space.
And Noble Savage. And Noble Savage.
Oh, well, no, he's created then and there as well, and then he died. So it's done.
I'm disappointed. Nobody wants to see the ongoing emo adventures of Night Scream.
Correct.
I wasn't a Transformers fan at that point. Even though you ever not a Transformers fan, it's like being a non-smoker. You just quit for an undefined amount of time. And I still can't bend my head around why Night Scream got just a monster toy.
I wouldn't. You may as well ask the same question of any toy out of Beast Machines.
Oh yeah.
They were pulling names out of a hat as far as attaching them to size classes went.
Yeah.
That was a real that was a real case of I think really you could say for the first time they were really trying to co-produce the ideas, where all the weight was on the show characters and then there were a few non-show characters in and around it, but and then in the back end they started doing show accurate drones and things like the tank or the Optimal Optimus or whatever. But it just didn't, it was their first real try at doing it. Then they bollocksed it up something fierce. But by and large, that's something they have a handle on now.
Yeah.
The toys look like the characters in the show these days.
Yeah, probably, Animated was the first one that nailed it.
I don't know, Armada, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, but while maintaining, things like articulation.
Yeah, but that's a deliberate choice, so.
Scavenger.
Well, if we're going to talk about Scavenger, you know what's going to happen, and we'll just have to call the podcast off now, because I've got to come over and stab you.
There's a song running around my head now. He uses the lyrics, gimmicks! 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 Gimmicks!
Andy doesn't like gimmicks. Anyway, we're talking about Scavenger. That was about Cybertron Evac. That's what that song was about.
Yeah.
But Scavenger's fantastic. And we need more things like Scavenger.
We do. We have the Titan class toys that don't do anything. We've got the one-step changes that are just bits of plastic. I don't think
any of them have awesome walking action and gimmicks and play features out the ass. So.
See, what I want to see is another Armada Prime.
Hell yeah.
Because, one, Armada Prime is an amazing figure. Two, the stories of that thing burning to the ground.
I've never heard such a story.
Haven't you?
No.
I've heard a few of them over the years where the motor got stuck and it basically just sets on fire.
Oh God, I've never heard of such a thing. I don't want to even imagine. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like a bit of an urban legend.
Yeah. Well, no, because it's the motor because everyone doesn't use the motor, they force the transformation, so the cogs go out of sync.
I've never forced that transformation. I used the motor every time.
But once it got transformed.
Oh, where is it? I'll turn it on right now.
As McFeely burns his house down.
This is the point where McFeely's is the one that burns. Oh, fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Let's see.
I told you it burned.
Oh, no way. Oh, his batteries are dead.
No!
Shocker.
They're not dead, it's just all the wires have burned to the ground.
Oh, and his missile's missing from his shin, too. Shit, that must have fired out. Well, that's disappointing. Well, that's only the Power Links repaint. Maybe the full color one does, but his trailer's at the back of the shelf.
You haven't got the yellow one, have you, as well?
The yellow one? Oh, no, the Energon one. No, I only have the Power Links one because it was a tenner in Woolworths. They were trying to get rid of it. Woolworths. I know, I was thinking the same thing.
I'm sad.
So, this comic,
yeah, Croc and Gatorade are being awesome again, hissing at proud clones.
that's definitely the same piece of art of Gatorade from the first page, isn't it?
I think the second, it's the third panel.
Yeah, the one where he's poking his head out of the...
Is it? I thought, no, hang on. Oh, scroll, you bitch.
I'm going up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same.
I'm unsure.
I'm kind of down with that as well, actually. It's very similar if it's not the same. But then again, it's a robot crocodile. It can either have its mouth open or closed.
I'm just looking to verify the notion that it was pasted in on the first panel.
Quite possibly. Anyway, so Pentor faces down Jahaxus and gets slapped. And we find out actually that because Serpentor is made the way he is, that's what's thrown Jahaxus off. Jahaxus does mention earlier that there's something he hasn't accounted for, and that is Serpentor, because he doesn't understand him because he's made by humans. At which point Serpentor guts him. Because, as you do. And we have the coming part of it all. Jahaxus realizes, he sees that the Autobots and Decepticons are working together, fighting for the future of Cybertron. So, in fact, he's actually won. It may not be by the way he's done it, but the factions working together for the good of the homeworld. At which point, he surrenders, Megaplex comes along and guts him again.
A bit late.
Just with the lovely line, I am avenged. And then we go through the signing of the Pax Cybertronia and the peace treaty being signed by everybody.
Because I don't think we really figured this back at the start of the story in the previous comic, but what we are witnessing is the end of the war.
Yeah. And Galvatron's still in stasis lock.
Yeah.
Prime's still in, still on his deathbed.
I don't remember where Galvatron is.
No, I'm not sure. There's a lot of shake going on.
I like the shaky shake sound effect.
And Skybite, the last page, Skybite has escaped and has gone to Jahaxus' lab, taken out a load of tubes, and met up with the Predacons.
Skybite himself is a Predacon as well.
Yes.
But, because like in Japanese continuity, the Predacons were created by the Quintessons as well. They like the Predacons we know, the Predaking Predacons were created by Quintessons. So they've got this point of commonality, and we Pax Cybertronia signed war over. I know where this is going.
Yeah, and they start unleashing these protoforms who join up with Predacons, and one of them opens, and there's Tarantulas in his bike form.
Yes, which will be one of the fifth of the sixth. Of the six toys.
So there's only G2 Starscream that doesn't get a nod in this comic.
Because he's a ghost right now, so.
Yes. And that is the end of issue 9 of Timelines. And as Chris said, the end of the war and the birth of the Predacon Empire.
Or the start of the birth.
Yeah. The start of the birth. And where does Tarantulas come from? We don't know, but he's in a different type of tube.
Well, I mean, because obviously, like, the idea of Tarantulas being connected to Jaxus and his second-generation Cybertronians was one of the possible plans the Beast Wars writers had for the character back in the day. So they've preserved that, but then they've also he and 3 others, which is obviously going to be the Tripredix Council, because they shared his origins, whatever they were. They've made it so that they're different. So could be Unicron as well, because that's the other connection Tarantulas has.
If in doubt, Unicron.
I mean, it's plenty of comics have actually done that officially.
Yeah. So, other than some bios at the back of the comic and a nice advertisement for the subscription service in the style of the old toy catalogues, that is the end of issue 9 of Timelines. Now, gents, shall we do the artwork? Mr. Bertram's art.
Love it.
Yep.
I honestly love it.
Last time, but yeah.
Sorry?
I don't know there's a lot to add from last time.
Well, in terms of what we said last time will obviously stand true, I think this is actually significantly better than last time, though.
The layout, definitely.
The layouts are, and I just think it's all turned up to 11. All the expressions are bigger. There's a lot more fun being had with it. I think the storytelling is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, the Josh doesn't do the layouts, so.
No.
And that's what we said last time, because it was towards the end of the story, the layouts just started to come apart. They just suddenly felt like they were running out of space. But there's none of that here, because, there's not an awful lot going on in the story. That's why we sail through it like this, But it means that the art and the layouts do have room to, to just do what they're there to do. That sort of Jeff Senior meets animated look that we called it before.
Yeah, which I think is a very fair way of doing it. I think it's pretty much flawless as well. I can't see any issues with it in any place other than not being able to recognise Blue Bacchus, but that's me in my eyes rather than anything else. And to be fair, when you're throwing this many characters in, if one of them is not instantly recognisable, you're not doing that bad a job, are you?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
But there's loads of... I love how overly exaggerated Octane is in the first couple of pages. With the, oh right, I was talking with a fellow Decepticon. The body language just comes through so beautifully.
Mm.
But then you've got, on the next page, Octane and Strykor just rolling through people and shooting stuff down. And it just looks great. Everything about this comic looks great. I actually would love to see maybe a 5-issue miniseries with just Josh's work.
Yeah, I'm really not sure why Josh hasn't got any, full-blown full issue work from IDW.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to speculate, obviously, but I will. But it could be anything to do with just timing. We don't know how long it takes Josh to knock out 22 pages.
He is colouring constantly as well.
Yeah.
So he is now.
He has 5 months to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that. One-shots and stuff. I would love to see Josh do a one-shot in the IDW universe and see how it's received.
Yeah.
Because, and same as I'd love to see Priscilla or Joanna do one.
Yeah. Well, Priscilla's doing RID.
She's doing RID, yeah. So I'd love to see those guys get their hands on it because they all bring a very different style. And Josh, I like the did we call it the animated Jeff Senior approach? And that's always going to tick the boxes for me. So I don't know. I just feel like this. I don't know if there was any difference in when Josh did this, or if it was just he finished the last year's BotCon comic and then just sort of got on with doing these pages. But it feels like his artwork's got better from the last one. I love that panel of Sandstorm getting laser bugged.
The one that actually sticks with me is the Megaplex and Megatron talking.
Yeah.
With that, you have the little tiny Megaplex in the bottom corner, these two giants, these like two phantoms. I don't know what it is about it, but it's something that really just pops out. It just looks beautiful.
It's a really sketchy aspect to it, isn't it? It's just the sort of the hand-drawn lines almost that would normally get rubbed out, and it's just Plus, I want a Gatorade from this.
Yeah, I love how he draws Gatorade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, spotlight Gatorade.
I'm thinking Croc will probably be the second one of the toys, so hopefully he'll turn up next month.
Yeah, it's open, because that toy does look nice. It'd be nice to see some in-hand pictures of the thing.
He's, just because of Gatorade, he's one of the ones that I'm kind of tempted to pick up.
Anybody that comes with an arms micron immediately gains at least 1-star rating, you know?
Well, that means that the Megatron from the box set this year has instantly got 3 stars.
Yeah.
And Tarantulas has got 2.
Yeah.
No, it's fair enough, actually. That Tarantulas does look good.
Yeah, I mean, they have worked their asses off on that Tarantulas. It's gone through like at least 3 major public revisions of design to make it work as best as it possibly can. And I mean, the cool thing, and the point, he comes with 2 of the it's 2 of the same Minicon, but it's the Spider Minicon.
Mm-hmm.
But that Spider Minicon turns into a big clawed weapon. So the idea is you fit the 2 claws in his hands and you get Tarantulas' claw hands.
Yeah. It's very clever.
Does Serpentor come with a couple of Minicons as well?
There's not. No, that's just for this story.
Ah, right.
But they are real. They are real Microns. They're the lizard and the snake that you could buy in the. They were the ones that were in the
blind packs. The capsule toys.
Yeah. Which you could buy in the UK, which I have next to me here in Scourge's hand. And you can, I mean, they don't plug together, but you can, with the Scourge mold, or anybody with an open top and bottom fist, you can plug them in to make the staff in their fist. I was cool. Doing that for use in Serpentor.
That's cool.
Because they're not just for anything otherwise.
Is that the Scorpion and the Cobra?
The snake, the Cobra and it's like a gecko or something.
Ah, yes, yeah.
I mean, they're quite crap.
Yes, they are.
I mean, the individual the character ones, the ones that are the prime cast members, are quite nice looking, but these are just rubbish. It's like, this gecko's folded his legs together, so he's got saw blades on a stick.
Which, of course, is the greatest weapon known to man.
Clearly, yes.
No, that's a stick with a nail through it.
Gaffer tape to a dog.
This snake, what is this? It's a tuning fork.
A well-known weapon.
Rubbish. They find
What's the name of the planet from Carnage and C Minor? Maybe that's where he got it from.
Eurythma.
Oh,
yeah, equal a Eurythman fucking tuning stick.
Sounds like something you piss out of. Some kind of like thing you attach. Anyhow. Ugh.
Rhythm is where it's from. Eurythmics.
Oh, that's where he got it from. He got it from the Eurythmics.
Yes.
He just went and beat Annie Lennox up and then took a tuning fork.
And he put saw blades on the outside of it.
Yep.
It's crap, but it'll make a nice staff for Serpentor when he arrives.
Mm-hmm.
So, gents, do you want to sum this up and give it a score? Good.
Sum it up. Like, I mean, it's a selection of vignettes through an extended fight scene with some perfectly entertaining moments of comedy. No moments of real depth of characterization. Not depth. There's plenty of fun characterization. No deep moments. Nothing big. Nothing clever. Bit of a laugh. Unexpected, pleasant Beast Wars tie-in at the end. It's certainly a solid 3, maybe a 3.5.
I would agree with that. I would say it's solid. Yeah. It's good. It's worth reading. It was free, so that kind of helps it along as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's weirdly, you kind of go, this was free.
Yeah.
This is probably the best one.
Since the animated one.
Yeah. So like the one I would have paid money for.
Yeah, it's the free one. But what gets me about this is the humour that's in it as well. Yeah, they die, Autobots, die!
And we've seen how often attempts at humour fall flat with these.
Oh,
yeah.
Why does everyone assume we are good with machines?
It begins, starts.
God.
Oh, I forgot about Skeletor Magnus.
You know that sequence in the airplane where you got the guy just like pouring gasoline over himself? That's what that comic reminds me of.
Well, to be fair, the next time they went back to Shattered Glass, they did a good job of it. The Beast Wars Shattered Glass story in the Club magazine was honestly quite good, and the change of the playing field that Invasion brought about, it has changed what Shattered Glass is. So Shattered Glass is not just haha, evil is good and good is evil, funny stuff anymore. And I mean, this year's story looks like it could be quite interesting. But Invasion is the devil's shite.
Is that the worst one?
Oh yes, oh my god, yes. Well, what did we say? It's one of the single worst Transformers comics ever produced.
I was just trying to remember what came before it.
No, nothing truly offensive. Like, hang on, let's go through it. 2005 was Descent into Evil,
which was just a comic.
Yeah. 2006 was the Beast Wars one, which is fine, but far too focused on the toys that you couldn't actually get at the convention. And way too focused on rewriting what the Beast Wars universe was, what the state of play in that universe was supposed to be in order to fit those toys into the narrative. Even though you literally couldn't buy them. Like Air Razor was going to be a club exclusive later in the year, and Tigatron was the freebie, and they were the stars of the comic. 2007 was Games of Deception. It was the classics one. It was fine. 2008 was Shattered Glass. It missed the mark severely because it shot itself in the foot with the April Fools.
Yeah.
2009 was Wings of Honor, another deeply unremarkable affair.
Oh, yes.
2010 was the animated.
Hey! No, it was 11.
It was Generation 2.
That was awful.
That was a lark. It wasn't.
Hey.
No.
It felt a bit clever. It felt like it was quite sure of its own cleverness.
But it looked pretty.
It did. Except for those Frank Milkovich inked pages. God, they were awful. 11 was 12 was Invasion. 13 was the first part of this, and 14 we're about to do now. So yeah, no, Invasion by an absolute country mile is a despicable piece of work.
If memory serves me right, I don't think we just said it was one of the worst Transformers comics we read. I think we actually came out and said it was one of the worst comics we'd ever read. That there was absolutely nothing of merit, and if memory serves me right, we actually refused to rate it.
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
not universally incompetent, but where it was not incompetent, because it was incompetent in many spots, where it was not incompetent, merely just thunderously boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a failure on absolutely every level, I was going to say bar artistically, but then I remember there's some despicably bad page setups in that as well, where it was literally impossible to tell what was going on.
The more you talk about it, the more my mental blocks are breaking, and I can remember parts of it.
There is part of me that actually wants to go back and listen to our review of it while I read it.
That was a good long review. We did that, I think, on a Sunday morning, didn't we?
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
I gave it to that bastard.
God, that was... Oh.
It's sad then, because none of these ever live up to it.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's tuning in for, and it's like, sorry, these ones are actually half decent.
Yeah, but that's kind of where I lost my interest in doing these to a degree, because I know that, it's a decent enough comic. It's a fine comic, so where's the entertainment factor for all of us? It's like, we can't just tear this asunder. We can, like.
Yeah, but it would be an unfair tearing. Exactly. It would be ripping into it for the
sake of it.
Yeah, almost imagined slights. It wouldn't be a best read.
There's nothing wrong with ripping into it for the sake of ripping into it if that's the bit that we're doing, but let's not imagine offenses where there aren't any. Like, let's not seriously tear it down where it doesn't deserve to be.
So, we've all given it a 3-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair, isn't it?
I'd say so, yeah.
If you can find it, it's worth downloading. It's free, so you're not going to lose anything other than some space on your hard drive. And actually, even if you just enjoy Josh's pretty artwork, it's a good 32 pages.
I mean, it's a little, if you haven't read the previous chapter,
You haven't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah, and it's a little incoherent at times, frankly. Like, there's no narrative captions, there's no setup to tell you what's happening, but this is the sort of thing where this is only ever going to be read by people who are actively seeking it out and know the deal anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can't really hold that against it.
Yes.
Most people will recognize the characters or have some idea of what's going on, but objectively stepped back from the way the story is, it's a bit of a cluster. But it's not. It's an extended fight scene with a lot of vignettes happening in the middle of it. It's fine.
You can see why they did this as a one-shot freebie, or a one-shot anyway, is because it is just an extended fight scene. It's not adding anything to a story really anywhere. It's tying things up quite nicely and it's moving on. If they'd have released this as a £5 comic, or, whatever, or you'd have to order it through the club store, then, I think you'd have been a bit hacked off that you'd actually have to pay for it.
Yeah.
The fact it was easy to get hold of, and it's just a good accompaniment to the last one, which I kind of wish I still had now, because I want to reread it, but...
It'd be fun to read the pair of them back to back.
Yeah.
No.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. When you have free entertainment, you can't really rip into it too much. I mean, you can look at how the structure of it works, how the base foundations of it work. But at the end of the day, it was free, and that's something that it puts a lot of Samaritan points in its corner. So it's difficult to not enjoy it more, I think, when it's free.
Yeah, well, that's an excuse for being shite either.
Well, no, I mean, but then again, saying that, look how many webcomics are out there that are just absolute goddamn balls.
But they don't normally have an attached franchise.
No. True. One day there will be a Machine Robo webcomic out there and I will be a happy man.
But I mean, that's the thing that we normally, for anyone who's listening to this for their first BotCon review,
we're so sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
But
we listen to Invasion. That was a good one.
Yeah, we normally overview the whole thing as it is a fan comic, for want of a better term, but it is something that is not just available at a convention. It is something that is mass produced and put on comic book shelves with the Transformers brand attached to it. Therefore, if it is an appalling bag of crap, it can damage the brand, and that's how we review them. This, as Chris said, you have to actively seek out to get.
You don't wander into a shop and just find it.
No. I mean, if you do, then you've got some dodgy shops around your way. But, so our normal sort of fun pub overview is completely skewed for this one, which is, I think, partly why it's so enjoyable. Because, if it was on the shelves, then I think we'd be a lot harsher on it. But,
yeah.
It is just 22 pages of things blowing up and quips. It's kind of watching a Michael Bay film.
No, it's definitely more enjoyable than that.
With more characters in it. More character.
Yeah, more character, more than characters.
Yeah.
Also, there's no point in this where I'm sitting there and feeling a little bit skeevy and would like to leave now, please.
That's the worst part of the Bay films, is I always leave the film, the first watch of it, hyped out of my mind. And then I get to the car and sit down, and then I just realise I need a shower. And there isn't water hot enough.
It's Domestos, man. Yeah, that's all you need.
But it's sort of like, you're just like, yeah, credit, rah, robots, rah, boom, boom, boom. And they sit there and go, oh, that was so morally corrupt. And the plot, I just feel like it's like post-cinema shame.
See, weirdly you should say that, because I came out of I went through to Newcastle and I saw Age of Extinction with young Mr. Andy, Cobra Commander Andy, and the Millman. And we came out of that, and I don't think we spoke to each other for maybe 10 minutes after leaving the cinema.
Well, we just film, Andy. It was
turned
alright.
around, and it was just, well, that was shit, wasn't it? There was no hype or anything like that. It was just literally, oh well. It kind of annoys me that I spent money on seeing it.
Well, that's the thing. We're part of the problem.
Yep, and that's why I'm never going to spend money on seeing those films again.
Yeah, you say that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm done. No, I'm not.
No, you're.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm truly not. I can't. I am not going to put my life through another 3 hours of godforsaken, below-average cinema.
Right.
There's something about the mediocrity of subpar art that just does it for me now.
You'd have to think that you'd have to hope the next one will reel it back in from
Nope,
2
don't.
hours.
I no longer care. I no longer care.
I'm not just saying the length as well.
Yeah, if it's back down to 2 hours, then I'm all right. But 3 hours 10 or whatever that one was.
It was only 2:45. Like, but who the hell 2:45 for anything? Like,
yeah, you don't need
I
that.
own that DVD to make screen caps from when I need them.
I didn't even buy the thing.
That's why. I own all the films. Like, I own them for screen capping purposes, but I maintain a professional distance. I see them, I buy them, they exist. But see, I'm the kind of guy who's like, the movieverse isn't just the movies, and I know a lot of people don't bother with the ancillary stuff and everything. But to me, like, the movieverse is a lot more than just the films and the comics that have been produced and from IDW and from Titan have do more than enough to make me enjoy the characters and the toys and the worlds of the films. And there are plenty of ideas and things in the films that I like. The delivery methods are always to be questioned, but I rarely come away disgusted or appalled or anything. But this is true of me and just about any film. Rarely do I come away without something positive to say about a piece of filmic entertainment.
We have discussed on the More Than Meets the Eye show before how we are part of the problem. And we actually referenced Suicide Squad, didn't we, as being...
Oh, yeah. Looks despicable, but I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, no, the good thing is, Chris, with the amount of leaks that are going on, you're not going to have to go to see it.
Well, that would imply I'm paying attention to the leaks.
So you haven't seen the purple and gold Lamborghini?
I did see that, and I'm like, that seems about... That seems about right.
That's the worst thing. I was kind of sitting there going, yeah, I kind of buy that. Yeah.
It's when I had the realization that Jared Leto's Joker is actually going to be just a modern version of Cesar Romero. I just went, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Leto himself. I did see that clip of him talking to Harley, and I'm like, I like the body language. I like the animation he's got going on there. But the clear design by committee, what does the young person like today approach to recreating the character, as it's just the iron bat around the back of the head that it wasn't even, it was a dull rap on the shoulder, because when I saw that I was like, I don't know what I was expecting, but that seems about right. And now it's just where I am,
I don't think he'll be in it past the opening sequence.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I'm pretty sure he'll be in it to some extent. It's the Joker.
No, I honestly think that they're using it as a Joker setup, because I think you're gonna have him and Harley in the Lamborghini being chased down by Batman in the opening sequence, and then Batman cutting Joker off. And Harley just sat there going, what? And then her getting arrested and taken to Bell Rev, and that starts Suicide Squad.
Well, that'd be pretty great.
Because then it sets Joker up, but it doesn't make a Suicide Squad film Suicide Squad and the Joker film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think... See, I think it gives them too much credit for what they think is. I mean, no, but I mean, it's like Suicide Squad. What's the Suicide Squad? Suicide Squad is the DC Universe supervillain team-up movie. Who's the biggest DC supervillain? Joker.
Lex Luthor. I mean, yeah, sorry.
Look at the Suicide Squad animated movie.
Yeah.
Even
I'd
that.
rather not.
I know. Even that. Even something that, by all rights, shouldn't have had any problems playing things straight, properly, went with the Joker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although the idea does come to me, Affleck's looking huge as Batman.
Look, you can say what the fuck you like. He looks awesome.
He does look awesome. No. I have been one of those people since the beginning going, yes.
I didn't.
Yes,
do
I'm
that.
looking forward to this.
I was sort of using you in the general sense of addressing the listeners and the PN society at large, not yourself. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any opinion about Ben Affleck, the actor, but I know that's the best looking cinematic Batsuit that there's literally ever been.
Yep.
And I'm ready to see what he does.
It's going to be a shame you're not going to be able to see it because it's all going to be so grimdark.
Well, Batman is dark. I mean, he's black and grey, you know?
Yeah, but
I mean, that's it's like, it's two colours! It's two colours! Hurrah! And huzzah! That's all I ever needed.
It's all I want to see now is, in the next film, you get to see the Denny O'Neil hairy-chested love god Batman. That would make me happy.
They've got to get to the point where we have bat nipples again. It's just...
I will punch you in the face. I might need to get a stepladder, but I'll do it.
No, come on. That is the equivalent of Batman jumping the shark, isn't it? Bat nipples.
Batman jumping the nipple. Oh, God. That's the name of my next prog rock album.
Well, at that point, let's draw this one to a close because we've still got to record another one of these things.
Yeah.
Off the plot there, I mean, I think the amount of digressions that we did there was just, there's not a lot of talking points in that comic. It's a bit of a larf. And,
and you guys don't tune in to listen to the comic anyway. You listen to us three idiots talking about whatever's hip at the time. Not the word
we're down
hip.
with the kids, yo. God, you're white.
I am so white. So white, middle class. So thank you to Chris McFeely.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you to Grufflock.
It's a pleasure.
And we will see you next time on the Underbase. Keep an eye and an ear out for Timelines number 9 to 10. Next one.
This is 9.
Yeah, the next one. It'll be coming up at some point in the not too distant future. We'll try and get them both out before BotCon, but there's a lot going on in the Transformers universe at the moment that's a lot more important than this guff. So thank you for listening, and we will see you next time on the Underbase. Bye.
Ta-da.
Bye-bye.
Underbase complete. Cease transmission.